Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. We talk about economics and crypto and lots of other fun things. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like this content, and turn on notifications and all that. Okay, let's go ahead and dive on into this. This is a new account that I have recently found called Quentin Francois, Quentin048.eth. I'm surprised this is my first time seeing it. He has 264.5k followers, and I have 3 posts of his because I thought a lot of what he shared on his page, first time seeing it, was very helpful to understanding where we are in the crypto market right now. And so what do we have here? I mean, he says we're going higher. So we have the MACD on a weekly candle, and whenever the MACD flips bullish, in other words, whenever the blue line crosses over the orange line, look at what has happened every time, except for, no. I mean, he doesn't have this part circled from July of 2023, but that was a good time to be holding crypto. We were just in the middle of a range, but every other time, you can see that Bitcoin has rallied after that, and we just had this crossover. Please come back later. We just had this crossover. Sorry, one of my kids knocked on the door, and I've started the video. So, more from Quentin. Global liquidity. This I thought was perfect timing on this because a lot of you, I'm sure, wondered what happened with the dip with Bitcoin on Friday. And wow, okay, even this dip follows global liquidity perfectly. So the green line, of course, being global liquidity. And you can see Bitcoin peaked around the peak of the global liquidity trend line, and not trend line, just leading indicator. And where does it bottom out? It bottoms out pretty close to where we bottomed out today. And so do we move on here, and do we make our way to $135,000 by the end of June? We will see. At some point, again, we are going to deviate from this, but the fact that we have been following along with this as well as we have for as long as we have is a good sign that we're going to continue to follow along. Just please, please, please do not get sucked in to this, believing that this is the way. This is the way it must happen. There's no guarantees that we are going to continue following with global liquidity. I've talked about what that looks like at peaks. After the peak, we always deviate. So whatever the peak is, we always deviate. So if we're going to continue along with this for a time, fantastic. Fantastic. Swiss block, the breakout continues. The short-term framework just flipped bullish. Price action is doing the heavy hitting. No leverage alarms, no retail mania. Bitcoin is in discovery mode with a clean path. I've showed you lots of indicators just showing that we're not overheated. We're not in euphoria. Google Trends is very low. And that's what I would say. It just feels, just based off of the indicators that I've been showing you over and over again, that we are at the early stages, somewhat early stages of a move higher. I shouldn't say quite early, but early-ish stages. So we see intraday volatility turn the framework negative. The price was hitting resistance, and at the moment of the breakout, the tension was released, and the framework turned positive. This is short-term bullish. Back to Quentin. Quentin.eth, Quentin Francois. Nation, states, and institution own 4.269 million Bitcoin, and there are 2.4 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. Only 450 Bitcoin mined daily. BlackRock and friends are buying more than 450 Bitcoin mined. You know, the 450 Bitcoin mined per day. They're buying much more than that. So we'll see. We'll see potential institutional adoption by the end of 2026. We have nation states, estimated inflows, $161.7 billion worth of Bitcoin. Estimated Bitcoin allocation percentage of supply, 7.7%. Wealth management platforms, estimated Bitcoin allocation. We have Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. That's an estimate of 5.71%. Public companies like MicroStrategy and Metaplanet, estimated at the end of 2026 allocation 5.61%. U.S. states, a new player to this. We have strategic reserves established in Texas, Arizona, and New Hampshire so far, with more to come. a measly 19.6 billion. I'm totally joking with that. That's 196,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026, and probably more to come after that. Will these be the 3 wealthiest states in the United States? I'm kidding about that, but that's a good sign for Texas, Arizona, and New Hampshire. And then sovereign wealth funds from from Abu Dhabi and Norway, 0.37%, with more to come. I mean, this is that will be an estimate. So I think Quentin got this wrong. Yeah, he did get it wrong. This is an estimate for the end of 2026. That's 20.32% of the supply of Bitcoin. And a lot of this has not been accumulated yet. A lot of it. There's only so much that can go around. My goodness, that's huge. That's significant. From Glassnode, more than 420,000 Bitcoin now have a cost basis around the 94K level, forming one of the strongest support zones in this current cycle. The dense cluster of accumulation has held firm throughout consolidation in early May, providing the launch pad for Bitcoin's breakout to new highs. And I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what this chart means, aside from, here we go, like we see the yellow-ish clusters and the red clusters. So the denser the clusters, now that I'm actually looking at the chart, the denser the cluster, you can see a lot of 94K. That's a good level of support. If for some reason Bitcoin were to get to 94K, that would be a fantastic place to buy. But as this moves on and as the price goes higher, as time goes by, the darkness will rise. According to the red parts will rise and increase. Moving on to Dark Frost. We are okay. That's kind of a funny tweet. Yeah, of course we're okay. For now, the net realized profits remain normal for a bull phase because, yes, during a bull run, profit taking is necessary. It's what keeps investors engaged in the market and helps sustain the bullish momentum. This chart doesn't display values in USD as usual, but in Bitcoin. Currently, realized profits stand at 104,000 Bitcoin, roughly 11 billion. But what's interesting here is that we're still far from the critical threshold of 305,000 Bitcoin. And so what are we looking at here? You can just see during very bearish phases, there's a lot heavy doses of realized profits or losses. And so in the bear market, lots of realized losses in 2018, during the COVID crash in 2022, just lots and lots of realized losses. And here we are now. We're not anywhere near heavy doses of realized gains or any realized losses. But look at in comparison to the peak in 2017 and in 2021, lots of realized gains. So we're just kind of hanging around. We are, like Dark Frost says, we are okay, guys. We're okay, everybody. I'm just being sarcastic. I think we're plenty okay. When's the time to be a little bit more nervous on this is, well, look at the 2 most recent local tops. You can see exactly what he's talking about. What was that, 3.5? 350,000 Bitcoin, critical threshold of 350,000 Bitcoin. We are nowhere near there right now, even though Bitcoin has hit a new all-time high. The disbelief rally continues. Now, really interesting chart from Steph is Crypto, a annoying mega bull. Sorry, Steph, but you are an annoying bull who calls for outrageous prices. Breaking, XRP centralized exchange volume drops to lowest levels in months. Uh-oh, oh no, guys, that's so scary. I would say more so that this is exactly what I would want to be looking for in anticipation of an explosive move higher in XRP. The less interested the general public is in XRP, the more interested I am in it. And ISO 20022 coins have underperformed during this recovery. And so please, can I get questions during my live streams of, oh, I'm so bored of XRP. Should I sell it and move into something else? Inject that fear into my veins. That's going to make me want to buy a lot more XRP because it thrives off of your lack of interest. So mental note, and even I say that, and we could go on at the current prices for another month or so, or even longer than that, and I'll still be interested in holding XRP. So from Crypto Beast here, I'm so tired of hearing this. This really resonates with me. No images to look at, but, quote, biggest bull run ever. No, that's an effing lie. 2017 was the biggest bull run. 2017, it was bigger than 2013 in the sense that everything went crazy in 2017. In 2013, there were so few options, and good luck buying those other altcoins that saw these so-called explosive moves. No, 2017 was the biggest run. You could have bought anything and you were guaranteed to make money. Not the case in 2025. 2021 was okay. A lot of people made money, but it was harder than 2017. 2025, we have 1,000 times more coins now than we did in 2021. So no, this won't be the, quote, biggest bull run ever. Influencers are lying to you for clicks. Have you ever heard of diminishing returns? Well, that's what happens every cycle. You can still make a lot of money, though. You probably weren't here in 2017, but I was, so listen to me. I really resonate with this this tweet here. Here's just the thing that I want to point out is at some point, and we're nearing that point, we might actually already be there. It just makes sense it makes sense to just hold Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is as close to a sure thing as you could possibly have, and nothing else is anywhere in the same stratosphere as Bitcoin when it comes to it being a sure thing. Maybe after this bull run, that's the play. It's just stick with Bitcoin and forget about these altcoins, man. You know, maybe, who knows, maybe I will end up being a Bitcoin maximalist after this bull run, because at some point it's like the diminishing returns may not diminish forever for Bitcoin. And I would actually argue that they won't, but the diminishing returns for altcoins, for this guaranteed, oh, we're going to 10x, 100x, that's significantly diminishing. And, you know, for me to buy altcoins after the bear market, they'd have to go down at least 99%. So I could at least, you know, be hopeful of making some money on the retrace. But man, so many of them went below their 2022 bear market bottoms. Just keep that in mind, that we may need to shift after, maybe just it's after this, you know, to just let's stack the stats and forget about all this excess. But we'll see. Interesting exercise here. Choose one. What portfolio are you taking for the next 10 years? You should know after we look at this what my answer is, and it's based off of only one asset here. But portfolio A, Apple, Amazon, Costco, or Solana. Portfolio B, Tesla, Nvidia, Home Depot, or Bitcoin. Portfolio C, Meta, Microsoft, Chipotle, and Ethereum. You should know that I'm going with portfolio Bitcoin, portfolio B. No doubt. And I mean, I don't mind at all holding Tesla, Nvidia, and Home Depot. My goodness. Especially when you think about Tesla being one of the leading players in robotics. What's coming with that? Yeah, give me portfolio B. But even you could put any of these other 11 things in portfolio B as long as Bitcoin is there. I'm there. But let me know your arguments. Do you have a different option? Nope. For me, it's give me Bitcoin. Maybe at the bottom of the bear market when Solana is under $5. I'm being a little bit facetious when I say that. Maybe Solana, but I mean, if we're talking about the next 10 years, give me Bitcoin. Give me Bitcoin, no doubt. Well, anyway, happy Memorial Day to those of you in the United States. I'm keeping this video short for reasons similar to that it's Memorial Day. I'm assuming engagement's going to be pretty low today. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Monday to the rest of you around the world. I hope you're enjoying your day at work. Haha, we have our day off, except for me. I'm self-employed. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you in another video. Peace.